Last week in our Reaching the Throne marathon, we talked about physical reminders that our senses are used to remind us. We talked about the Zitzit. We talked about the fact that one of the phrases there talked about the bare head, that literally there's nothing between us and Elohim. I mentioned that I wear a hat to remind me that Elohim is always watching me and what I do. We have physical things that can remind us that Elohim is present. Now, with all that in mind, we can consider chapter 5 and verse 1 of Vayikra that talks about, and if anyone sin in that he hears the voice of an oath, he being a witness, whether he has seen or known, if he does not make it known, then he shall bear his iniquity. It means if you hear somebody transgressing, if you see somebody transgressing, if you know that they are transgressing, in its simplest form, if you are aware of another's transgression, and don't say anything, particularly going to that person and talking to that person, then you are as guilty as the other person is of the transgression. We must be responsible for one another. Only in this way can we love our neighbor as ourselves. If he or she won't listen, it is not because you did not try to open his or her eyes. Their sin is now totally theirs and not yours to bear. Now, that being said, we're not to judge. We are human, and we can only see the surface of what's going on. We don't see what's underneath. Talking to someone helps us to understand their situation, and then we can love them. We can minister to them. We might even be able to teach them a way different than what they're going through. However, we can only see the surface. We are not Elohim. We cannot judge because only Elohim sees the heart of the matter. Only Elohim looks beneath the surface to understand what the other person that we overhear, see, or whatever. So we can't judge that person. But we have a responsibility to that person to speak to them if need be. Or have somebody else speak to them in confidence. So the remedy for all of these is the same, and it takes us back to the first part of the study. We are to bring ourselves and the animal side before the tent of meeting and give it totally over to Yahuwah Elohim. The priest already put the blood on the horns and the altar for you. Yahshua made teshuvah possible and paid the blood price for our transgression. We must honor that by seeking to worship the Father in spirit and in His truth. Vayikra means the call, and it is Yahuwah that is calling us back to Him. Does Elohim prevail in your life, or are you wrestling against Him? And are you ready to draw near to Elohim? So, very short Torah portion. Hopefully some things for us to keep in mind and consider. That we are going to make a mistake. We are going to transgress. Can we catch it? And second of all, if we're building a relationship with Yahuwah Elohim, then why not put all of us into it? Put all of ourselves into it. With that being said, we can say that grooviness is achieved.